Today I'm meeting Paul Guerra. He has a long time attachment to the Queen Victoria Market, and we're going through and meeting some of the stall holders and collecting fresh produce before we get started on his Italian feast. Paul, where have you brought me?
I've brought you to the top of B shed where it intersects with A shed to go and get our beautiful vegetables for the lunch today.
We are in front of everything you could possibly want because you're making a very special dish, raining all the way from Italy, your heritage.
We'll need a bit of parsley. I'm going to make a nice beef olive that goes in the tomato sauce as well.
Beef olive.
I know, wait till we get those.
I think everyone's mouths just started watering at home. They're like, yes, show me.
Particularly when it's going to sit in the sauce for as long as it's going to.
Coming to the market, you can recreate something from Italy and you're not going to get a fresher ingredient. You're going to agree with this than at the Queen Victoria Market.
No question at all. It's all seasonal, it's all fresh, it's beautiful.
I think this is almost the heart and soul of the Queen Victoria Market. It is such a bustling place to walk into, and the seafood, it's fresh, it's vibrant.
Beautiful. What do you reckon? We get the squid tubes?
Squid tubes, I think.
I
Yanni!
Yes!
Squid, please.
2 squid, please.
Yes, of course. Cooking squid.
Very good.
Today.
Squid, salt and pepper, as you taught me.
Italian style.
Italian style, not Greek style. Thanks, Yanni.
Beautiful. See you next time.
Where have you brought me to, Paul?
I brought you to Bill's farm for a couple of reasons. One, the focus that he has on Victorian produce, which I really love, and we're going to get some ingredients that'll complement the salt and pepper calamari, but importantly, the pasta sauce we're getting off Bill today as well.
Paul, we've picked up the most beautiful produce from around the markets. We've seen Yanni, Nancy, we've been to Bill's farm. Local Australian squid tubes, always local. And the great thing about coming to the Queen Victoria Market,
They're always fresh.
that's great. Now the salt and pepper mix.
Yep, can I get you to do that?
Yeah, I can do that.
Just a bit of flour on the bottom of the tray, grind the pepper, a bit of salt on top, and then I'll hand you, as I slice these, hand you them, and if you could just layer it for me, that'd be great.
Absolutely fine. So a salt
Wonderful.
and pepper mix is just salt and pepper. There's no special ingredient, nothing to be scared about.
Salt, pepper and flour, and I just used the plain flour as we picked up from the deli.
How simple is that? I think a lot of people overthink the salt and pepper calamari, don't they?
They do, and I was really scared to make this the first time. It was actually Yanni that talked me into doing it, told me how to do it, and I just experimented at home, and it's now my children's actually favourite dish.
I think you're touching on everyone's favourite dish here. It's got the great texture. Generally speaking, it's fried or shallowed fried, which, you know, you're allowed to have every now and then.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just dampen this down a little bit so we dry them out.
Okay. So this would
Like
be
the layer.
a bit of an important step in the salt and pepper calamari, bringing out the moisture so it fries up nice and crispy and golden brown.
Yep.
So just freshly cracked black pepper straight over the top.
Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to score this, so noughts and crosses, and I just slice it. Then all we do is we lay them in there. So as you're doing that, what I'm going to do is pour enough to cover the bottom of the pan.
Paul and I are going to heat the oil up, and then we're going to fry this salt and pepper calamari until it's golden brown, and then we're going to show you how to make his secret home dressing. That salt and pepper calamari looks delicious. You can see the flecks of pepper through it. Only took a couple of minutes as well.
It doesn't take long, and that's the beauty about it. As I said earlier, you know, standing out the barbecue with a couple of mates, frying this with a nice beer in your hand is just fantastic.
Getting a nice snapshot into your pastime. Because you must be pretty stressful taking care of the Queen Victoria Market all the time.
Got a good team and a really nice bunch of traders that are out there as well, and it's a pleasure to do. A lot on, obviously, but it is a pleasurable pastime, I can tell you. Myself. Now you're peeling that coriander off there.
Just picking some coriander. You mentioned I'm just taking liberties here. I'm thinking how it's going to go. This is special chili, isn't it?
It's special. I grow that at home, and it's super hot.
So where you originate from in Italy, is a chili a common ingredient?
Certainly the tomato based has always been ours, the seafood. has always been Italian tradition, and the chili has always been very much in our background as well.
Well, that's the great thing about Australia. We are taking influences from all around the world.
When you walk through the Queen Vic market now, it would have been once a very Italian orientated place. It's now kept that, but it's added the Asian flavours. In fact, we've got over 130 nationalities of traders that operate within the Queen Victoria market on a daily basis. So it is a very, very special place. When you talk about multiculturalism, there's no better example of it than what occurs under the sheds and in the dairy and deli halls on every single day. Have a look at that.
So salt and pepper calamari first.
Yep.
Little
Bit of aioli.
Aioli, coriander.
Just put one of those little
One
ones.
piece?
Just one bit. That's all you'll need, one piece.
It looks fresh.
Yep.
And that's from the green, the red, the golden brown.
Yep, here we go. Oh, he's thinking about it. I think he likes it. I think he likes it.
The salt and pepper mix really comes through on that. That aioli, obviously, being handmade in Victoria, is sensational. And that chili's coming through now. That was exceptional, Paul. But I really want to see how you do your meat olive.
Perfect. Well, let's get on to that now.
Paul, your salt and pepper calamari was spot on, but I know it wouldn't be an Italian feast without a main course.
And there's nothing more Italian than pasta. And I'm going to get you to do what's known as a beef olive, or braciole, as we say in our Italian dialect.
Braciole.
Braciole. And all it is a piece of flattened meat, bit of garlic on the way through, parsley on the way through, cheese on the way through, bit of olive oil on the way through, and then roll it up into basically a cigar. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a bit of olive oil into this pan here. I'm going to brown some onion off and then straight in with the sauce, and we'll stir that around.
Just
and
really
off we go.
classic flavours of building up the sugo. I'm almost done on your beef olives. So where does the two types of meat come from? Is that really classic Italian, or is that your twist on it?
That's what I've grown up with.
Yeah.
Every time that I had dinner at my grandmother's, there was always two meats. Both my grandparents were farmers, and they sold their produce into the market back when this was a wholesale market.
Really? So you've had a long connection to the Queen Victoria market.
I have, and when I was asked to get involved with the market on a board level, it was that connection that brought me back and enabled me to say yes. You know, it's full circle here. You know, my grandparents wouldn't have survived without the Queen Victoria market. So it's my simple way of giving a little bit back. So it's good. I love it. And seeing it continue in the way it does is just magnificent. Okay, so this sauce is now just going to spend the rest of the afternoon on a very slow simmer. And bring the fry pan up. Do you want to drop one of those in there? And all we're going to do is just brown these off. So we're not worried about cooking them too much. You can put them all in there.
So this is just to develop that rich meat flavour, caramelise the proteins and the sugars in it, and get a nice rich sauce in the sugo.
Yep. And that meat will be so tender by the time we eat it in a couple of hours. It just
fall apart.
It will. Literally, as you take that skewer out, it will just fall apart. And some people use a skewer, some people use toothpicks. You know, depends what's available. Believe it or not, the first time I had one of those, it was wrapped or rolled in cotton.
All that's left before we get this into the sugo is brown off these beef olives and our pork chops, and then we let the stovetop do the rest of the work for the afternoon.
Have a look at that sauce. Have a look at how the colour's changed
It's
over the
gone
course
from
of the
a
afternoon.
red to a deep orange colour, hasn't it?
Yeah, and that's all because the meat, the egg, everything's adding its own little flavour. I'm going to go for a deep dive here. Let's see if we can find the egg. There it is. Look at that. You know, soft or hard, however it comes. And then let's go for one of our beef olives here. And you can see how much they reduce in size as they cook through as well. But that is going to be so beautifully tender on the way through. So, all right, grate a bit of cheese on top.
Bit of cheese.
And I think we're ready to eat.
I think you've exemplified Italian cooking. Great ingredients, minimal work, but probably the best flavour.
Yeah, the flavour out of that is going to be beautiful. And look, sometimes we may not put the pork chop or the beef olive or the egg for that matter on top of the pasta. What we may do is actually put that on a side plate with the salad, so you can get into the pasta without the interference from the meat. So do that.
I'm going to get some bread.
Oh, even better. That's the breaking of the bread.
The breaking of the bread. Cheers, Paul.
Cheers.
Finally
Thank you.
get to taste our hard work. Paul has shown us one of his classic Italian dishes using everything from the Queen Victoria market and showing that less work doesn't necessarily mean less flavour. That's possibly the best pasta dish I've ever had made.
Wonderful. The flavours are from here, the traders are from here. We've cooked it at the Queen Victoria market as well. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Thank you.